Let's find out why. It's been 5 years since we last saw Jane Torvill and Christopher Dean. Walk down them steps, isn't it?
They're out there.
Yeah. Do you find, do you have to get your sea legs when you come off the ice?
Sometimes, yeah.
It's
you
hard
still
to
feel
find
like you have a bit on.
the ice legs again once you've been off it. If you've been off it for a few days, it feels like you've never skated before, so you have to keep doing it.
Completely different. Actually, it's unbelievable, really, that it's 6 years since you've turned professional, and 5 years since anybody's seen you here. I mean, what have we done that's wrong?
We've sort of been on tour since that time. When we first turned professional, and then we put our first show together in 1985. And that started here, and then we went off on tour. And then I broke my wrist partway through. And so that came to a stop. And then we put a new one together, and that's with this Russian company of skaters. And we started the reverse way around. We've been sort of doing the world, working our way back to England now.
Which cities are you performing in on the British tour?
Well, we started in Glasgow on Friday, and we're performing there for 3 weeks. And then we go on to Birmingham for 3 weeks, then into Earl's Court, London, which we're excited about, and then finishing up in Manchester.
Yeah. I mean, what can people expect to see in the new show?
Well, it's a cross-section for all audiences, we think. Well, like we said, with this sort of Gershwin music, we have Philip Glass music, we have Scott Joplin music, a bit of Beatles, Lennon in there as well. It's a real cross-section of styles.
Do people expect to see the old routines, though, the Mac and Mabels and the Boleros and the Barnums? They do, don't they?
Well, people like to see things they're familiar with, but I think we've also been known for doing new things. In competition every year we had a completely different theme, a different style. And throughout the show, the good thing is that we can show many different styles. So I think we enjoy it as much as we hope the audience do.
Yeah, I think it's a recognisable one or two.
Yeah.
But you like to experiment with different kinds of music. I mean, your routine was a different kind of music, wasn't it, with the hats and all?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, that's where we feel that, that's why we're still doing it, that's why we're enthused, because we still feel that we're at the beginning, that we've still got a lot to learn about the movement and choreography of actually constructing pieces and taking it in different directions and emotions, and so that keeps us buzzing.
Yeah. But I mean, which one of you has the biggest say when it comes to the music?
Chris is the creative one.
Jay makes me think I do.
He has most of the ideas, and indeed he choreographed several of the company pieces with the Russians. So.
But you're bound to fall out, aren't you, the pair of you? I mean, close as you may be, you're bound to fall out with each other.
If he drops me, I don't speak to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've had a couple of digs at him as well. I mean, you're possibly...
Tonight.
We've even got one tonight.
Look at that.
Oh, goodness.
The hand last year.
Jane gashed Chris tonight.
That was it.
And she's had a go at you in the past as well, hasn't she?
Yes, we've had the blade through the hands, the blade in the head,
is
the blade on the back of the
hand. It is. You do that on a kind of when he annoys you.
Yeah, just to keep him down.
Yeah. But does he listen to you, or does he just go his own sweet way, and you take it as sweet acquiescence?
So, I don't know. This was trying new moves, and we had all these injuries that all seemed to occur within the same month last summer. And I got to a state where I was afraid to try anything, not because I was afraid of the move, I was afraid what was going to happen to him.
That's right. He's fragile.
Very
delicate.
Delicate.
Despite the body like a bodybuilder, and the fact that he's probably got thighs like tree trunks. Well, he must do, although you're a light little thing, aren't you? You're not heavy.
Come on.
The best offer I've had this year. You've always been very discreet about your relationship with each other off the ice. And you still are. We were hoping for a revelation here to make the tabloids.
Well, we were going to make this announcement tonight. But we had a steaming row before, so we've caught it off.
It's
Now, nobody blames you being discreet, and you have been the very epitome of discretion, the pair of you. 84, you retired. As I said, I can't keep saying that enough. It's unbelievable. 6 years. And 5 years since you appeared here. And there has been no new Torvill and Dean. as far as Britain is concerned. It's now being dominated once again by the Russians.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad that we wanted, or we've been trying to get off the ground, a skating academy, you might say, sort of the Lily Shore of ice skating. But it's, you know, at the moment, nobody wants to spend money. The councils are obviously pretty wrapped at the moment, and the commerce, there's no payback from a private company actually wanting to support a training facility that we'd like to be involved with in teaching and organizing, because, you know, we've been through it. We think we know what to do.
You've turned into a bit of a turncoat, actually, because you're training this French pair, aren't you, or at least helping?
Yes, well, we started doing that about 3 years ago, because at least it gives me still an influence in the amateur skating world of being a little bit avant-garde or controversial, or at least an appreciation within that world, and they were very successful recently, and hopefully they will go on until the Olympics, which is in their home country in Albertville, France.
How long can you continue to do this, well, very physical activity?
Till August.
Till August.
That's it. August. Come now, because August is that's it.
August this year. Have you got a couple of good years left in you, or do you begin to feel the old bones creaking?
Well, we hope so. I think
you're going to boil up.
We'll just take it as it comes. I mean, we're just really concentrating on this tour. It will be quite a hard tour. We've got a lot of shows coming up, and I'm sure at the end of it we'll take a short break, but we really haven't any definite plans afterwards, but we'll just see.
Well, of course, you're getting into the recording business, aren't you? That's what you're going to do now. You're going to be movie actors.
Who told you about that?
And you're going to be recording artists. We do have... Listen to this. Torvill and Dean, Cinderella Rockefeller.
Nobody's supposed to know.
That's him.
And now you're going to say, don't hang the skates up, right?
No. It's been #1 in Albania. Cinderella Rockefeller. Jolly good. So that's not what you're going to be doing.
No. That one of the pieces.
That was his therapy when he had his car crash. He was very, very bored, and I suppose the only thing he could do was sing, and so that's what we did.
I think you show great pluck. But in the meantime, just sit with us for a moment. Torvill and Dean. Hold it down to a dull roar. We've got what I'm sure will be a pleasant surprise for you. Everybody shared in Torvill and Dean triumphs, but this man, even more than the rest of us, his knowledge, his commentaries seemed almost an integral part of their success. BBC commentator on everything and anything that moves on the ice, and it's a surprise for them. Alan Weeks. In a little matchbox of a place. Alan, it's good to see you.
It's great to be here.
I mean, you're such an expert on this. I mean, you witnessed all their successes probably more closely than anybody else right there on the ice. I heard you get quite emotional from time to time when they give one of their dazzling displays.
Well, they were quite emotional moments. They really were. I mean, you know, Jane and Chris got that something which at the time nobody else had. They changed the face of ice dancing completely. It was their manner of performance, their artistry. It was so superb. I mean, great ice dancers, but it was the way they presented it and putting a story into the program as well. It was all there, and it really captured the imagination right around the world, not just here, but everywhere.
I was just wondering if you realized the first time you came together as two individual, very young skaters, that you had something special between you in terms of artistry of quality.
It was a cold Thursday morning, very dark, dank ice rink, and we were just looking forward to the next session, getting to that. It wasn't, we never had a game plan of the Olympics. That's what we're heading for. From one day to the next, so that was it.
We just enjoyed it and took it.
We never actually said we'll stay together as a partnership, because we thought a bit superstitious, and we still haven't agreed yet.
15 years later.
Would you be able to take part in the next Olympics as professional?
Not with the pieces that we do now, because everything's totally illegal. And that's what we were finding by 1984. It was actually staying within the realms of the rules and regulations.
So you've still got rules and regulations that say that there must be a dance rather than a...
Yeah, there are things that, you know, that in dance, you can't touch that part of the body, you can't spin, you can't do this sort of lift, that restrict it, that then contain it and say, this is ice dancing. And since then, we've gone on to hold all those bits and do all those bits, and we enjoy doing it, and we don't want to let go of it.
And you're entitled to do that in the privacy of your own home. Not necessarily here on my ice rink. Anyway, what we want you to do is go off and change, because I know you're going to do it for us again. It would be cruel not to let you do it again for us before you leave us. So, for the moment, Torvill and Dean will be leaving us to get to their flight. Now that we're alone, man and boy, you've come through all this, as I said, the ice hockey. What would be, say, this is a lousy question really, your favourite moment, if the one that comes most readily to mind, your favourite moment as a commentator?
Well, I was very lucky. I was very privileged, in fact, to cover 8 years of winter and summer in commentating. In 1976, John Curry won the gold medal in the Winter Olympics, and David Wilkie won the gold medal in the Summer Olympics. In 1980, Robin Cousins won the gold medal in the Winter Olympics, and Duncan Goodhue won the gold medal in the Summer Olympics. In 1984, Jane and Chris, and Adrian Morehouse didn't quite make it, but he came back in 1988 and won it then. So I was very privileged to go through that particular period, because I don't think there are many other British commentators who have had gold medalists in Winter and Summer Olympics in the same year.
Well, long may you continue to impart your knowledge, your matchless knowledge to us on both the ice rink and every other sport in which you're a commentator. It's been a pleasure to have you. Alan Weeks.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
And the mist continues to rise gently off the ice. And now that we have him here, as I said, after such